Hello guys and welcome back. You're watching the Camera 64 podcast and I am your host Alfonso Chavez, and as always we're coming to you from sunny San Antonio from here in my garage. And today on the show, guys, we're going to talk about a subject that I think every new photographer has always talked about or asked about, and that is free photography. When should we do it? Should we do it? Can it be a good idea to do it? Well, we're going to talk about that in this episode. But before we get started with that, guys, I have had 2 new subscribers. That's amazing. I appreciate you guys. I don't know the names off the top of my head, but I definitely appreciate you watching my videos to the end and giving me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed and you're looking for somebody who is just trying to get YouTube underway and you just want to come along for the journey, see how I can do it. Maybe you can do it too, right? So just kind of follow me, see what I'm doing, maybe copying what I'm doing if that's what it takes. But hey, if we can add one more person to the YouTubes, I'm all for it, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Subscribe below, give me a thumbs up for this video. I greatly appreciate it. So let's get back to the subject. So one of the questions that I get asked, gosh, so often, I think probably at least a couple of times a week for sure if I'm out shooting, right? Obviously if I'm not shooting, then I'm not going to get the question, but the question always is, should I be doing some work for free? And that comes with a lot of caveats, right? And one of the biggest ones is I think that doing free work can be a fantastic thing, but there's some things that you got to consider for sure. And I think the number one thing to keep in mind for yourself is that, are you going to benefit in some way from doing free photography? Now, when I say benefit, it can mean a whole bunch of things. It can mean something different for myself as well as something different for you, right? So you just got to figure out what that is. So if you're a new photographer, do I think you're going to have a benefit of having somebody new and different in front of your camera week after week after week if you're new? And the answer to that is absolutely yes, because it's going to help you advance, help you get a little bit better. And the more time that you spend with the camera in your hand in different lighting situations, if you're going to different locations, the more you're going to be able to advance in your photography. But here's the thing, you got to make sure that the beneficiary first, hear me out, is you. Yes, you right there. You got to make sure that there's a benefit for you. Now, if somebody calls you out of the blue for no reason, no connection to them at all, and they say, well, you did a free session for my friend 2 weeks ago, and I want to see if I can get free session as well. No. So unless you're still in that portfolio, quote yourself here, unless you're in that portfolio building portion of your photography journey, then obviously the answer is going to be no. If you're still in that portion of the journey, I say, yeah, absolutely, go for it. If you can break out some new gear, maybe you got a new lens that you want to try out, or maybe you've never done flash photography at all. You've never done it and you just picked up a flash and you're trying to learn it, then I say yes, absolutely, go for it, do the free session. But here's the thing, you have to draw the line at some point, right? There's got to be a point where you break off from the free, because what happens is free passes itself on, right? Just like good clients come from other good clients, free sessions also come from other free sessions. So here's the cutoff point, right? You got to cut it off at some point or another. You got to say, I'm good enough. I'm at a point where I feel really comfortable doing this, and I want to go ahead and do this for free. So I don't want to do this for free, excuse me. I don't want to no longer do this for free. So at that point, then you got to set your boundaries and stick to them, right? And it's hard to get off of that free, but there are some ways that you can actually use free to your advantage. So let's talk about those. Now, in the beginning, I had a very minimal camera, and I wish I had one here to show you, but I had the Canon 20D. That was one of my first cameras, and everybody knew looking at it that it was not a big, right? It's not the big, humongous 1D back in the day, or the big 5D. It wasn't a big body, so people would see that. And so I always had a story. I always came with a story, and after all, that's what photography is all about, right? You're telling their story through pictures, but you can also come with your own story. And my story was always, well, I'll come and I'll shoot this family get together for you guys, because there were reunions going on, there were birthday parties and that kind of stuff, and I would sometimes invite myself on purpose with the idea that I was gonna go and do some pictures, do some portraits, set up some different family shots, because family doesn't get together. And the way that I worked this is I did all the work. I showed up, didn't ask for anything, did all the work, and then when I would come back and I would show them the pictures, whether it was printed or if I made a book, and sometimes I would make magazines out of the pictures that I took, then that's when I would get the question, hey, how much do I owe you? And so I was really quick to respond to this, right? You don't owe me anything, but I tell you what, you see this camera that I have right here? This is like the bottom of the line, and I'm trying to work my way into getting a bigger camera. Or I'm trying to work my way into learning how to use a flash, right? I want to learn to use a flash, but I don't own any flashes right now. So I'm trying to earn my way there. So if you could help me out with that, that would be fantastic. And let me tell you, it works wonderfully. There were sessions that I had done, just one in particular. Now this doesn't happen all the time, but basically I just told the lady, just give me $100, I'll show up, and that's it. Don't worry about anything else. Well, I showed up, and the mom did a fantastic thing, and she says, well, I'm paying $100 for everybody to have my big group session there. Okay, that's what she told her family. So every other family combination that I did after that, because after I did the huge family, there were like 50 or 60 people, and we shot it in their backyard. And then I got every single smaller group. So there was about 10 other smaller groups from all her sons and daughters and aunts and uncles that were there, and they brought their families, so you kind of get the gist of what's going on here. I ended up shooting about 10 other families, and I just led with that story, right? I got this camera, I'm trying to advance my photography, I'm trying to get a little bit better, you know what I'm talking about. And so what happened is they each ended up handing me money, and I didn't count it, I didn't look at it, I just grabbed it. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it. Stuck it in my pocket, put it in my pocket, and come to find out, guys, by the time it was all said and done, I got into my car and I was happy with it. The pictures came out fantastic. They were happy with it, and finally I had the opportunity to leave, and I left, and I stopped to pick up a soda on the way back, and I pulled out the wad of cash, and I set it out, and I started counting it. All in all, guys, all in all, like, I'm not kidding you, it was like an hour, maybe an hour and 15-minute session. I made about $600. Now that's a big deal, guys. We're talking about 15 years ago. So $600 for a 1-hour family session. I don't think there's anybody out there, including you, yes, you would take $600 for a 1-hour family session. But the best part of that, guys, the absolute best part of it, is that story not only helped me in that moment to make a little bit of money, but that family, I went on to shoot years and years and years, and I still shoot them to right now. So every year they get together, they want to update their family pictures, and now they got grandbabies and great grandbabies. So the story that I used back then, it still counts today, and I still make some pretty decent money with them. Obviously I charge them a whole lot less, because I always mention to them the same story. I'm grateful for you, and I tell them thankful because of you. This is the story. Because of you, I was able to advance my photography. So now you guys are part of my family, my photography family, and I'm going to continue to shoot you guys at a discounted rate. So instead of charging them, $100, I mean, the $600 that I would have charged for everybody, I just charge them maybe $200 now to come out. I shoot all the pictures, send them to them, and they're happy. They're happy. I'm happy. I know I got a 1-hour session. I can make a couple $100, and then after the fact, sometimes they'll order books from that. I've had book orders, I've had magazine orders, as well as some other stuff too. Some of them are not good on the computer, so I charge $40 to make a USB drive of their pictures. So again, those are just little things that you can do that are going to help advance. Now, all that came from a free start. So I'm not completely against free work by any means, right? All I'm saying is that you need to be smart with it, be a little bit smart, think about what you're going to do, think about what story that you're going to have, because if you have a story, you're always going to be able to sell more, guys, always. Versus if you just show up and say, oh, not too much conversation, you don't spend very much time talking to them, interacting with them. My son used to get upset with me because he would say, why do we stay so long after we show up early, we take the pictures, and we stay so long afterwards? And I said, because, son, you got to understand, the time that we spent with them afterwards is showing them that we genuinely care about them. We're interested in what they're doing. We're interested in what their grandkids are doing and their kids are doing. And not only that, but I get to learn their names so that the next time that I see them or I run into them somewhere, because, it was just Thanksgiving 2 days ago, right? And we were out, I was there with my family, and I ran into a couple. Actually, there were two of my past clients there, and they were so excited to see me. I walked over to them. I said, hey, Pam, how's it going? And then a couple of tables down was Jerry and his wife. I think her name was Susan. And so they're excited to see me, and I called them by name, and they get excited. I ask them about their kids. How are the kids doing? Because a lot of their kids were itty bitty the first time I took their pictures, and some of them are 25, 27, 28. They're married. They got their own kids now. And so out of those two people that I just ran into, guess what? There's 2 more sessions coming my way, just because it was a past experience. It was an hour that I spent. It was a free session that I did way back then, but it led me down this path. And that's the whole idea, is you want to get down the path, but sometimes to get down the path, you got to do some free stuff. But you got to have limits, though. You don't want nobody out there. Don't let anybody dictate to you when a free session is viable for them. Okay, because it's not about them, it's about you, the photographer. So you got to be careful and really take care of your time, because photography a lot of times means that, hey, I work a full-time job just like anybody else, right? I drive a truck. I've been a professional driver just about the same time that I've been a professional photographer. And so if I'm working a full-time job and my weekend comes, my family, my wife, my kids, they want to hang out with me too. They want to take dad to the movies. They want to take dad out to go eat somewhere. But if I'm doing a session, it's taking away time from my family, time from my kids. If somebody hires me to do some work on a Sunday, that means I can't go to church. So that's time away from God, right? Those are the things that you got to keep in mind, right? So I'm not going to give somebody a free session and have my wife and kids pay the price of that session, because that's what it boils down to, right? Aside from the money, really the money comes and goes. I get paid, I pay my bills, so money just goes in a circle. It's just going in a circle. But I got to be really careful about how I spend my time. If I'm gonna have time away from my kids and my wife, there's got to be a good reason behind that. And I think a lot of times on the client side of it, they don't see it. They see past that. So it's our job as photographers is to take care of our own time, be good stewards of what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. So my opinion at the end, yes, free photography can be extremely profitable. Number one, it can lead to profit down the line. That's number 2. But number 3 is we need to be good stewards of our time. And if somebody's asking us to do a free session at their benefit, then that's a no-go. So that's my opinion, guys. I hope you're enjoying this video. I hope you got all the way to the end. If you did, if you just absolutely got all the way to the end, just give me a thumbs up just because you got to the end of my video. But that's been my show for today, guys, and I hope that everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I am extremely thankful for my 2 new subscribers that I got. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving as well. But we'll see you in the next time. My name is Alfonso Chavez, and you've been watching the Camera 64 podcast from here in my garage. Till next time, guys, get out and shoot, have some fun, and meet some new people. Take care. Bye-bye.